Unforgettable sports moments meet.
From the San Antonio Sports Star Studios, sponsored by George Salinas Injury Lawyers. This is KTFM Floresville, San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the CD situation has finally been resolved as he and the Cowboys have agreed on a 4-year, $136 million extension that makes him the second highest non-quarterback, as he's averaging $34 million annually. Deal includes $38 million signing bonus, the largest ever given to a wide receiver, and $100 million in guarantees. He's now signed through 2028.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me, however you may be joining me, whether that's on 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com, listening via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player, or if you're watching via our YouTube channel, go to YouTube, SA Sports Star, subscribe, like, comment along with the show. Appreciate everybody for rolling through. Frank Valdez, Fred Records, Jacob Eric, Fred Villarreal already in the chat. Going comment along with the show as well. Or you can feel free to call in at 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. And for those watching on YouTube, yes, I took Friday off last week and headed to the beach for the weekend. And I look like I spent every single second under the sun at the beach. But it was a great time. And, you know, we get to come home to the news of Trey Lance and 5 interceptions and CD getting a deal done. And who knows what the rest of the week will bring now that that domino with CD Lamb has fallen. And we'll get into CD Lamb and what it means and what the Blitz had to say as the contract happened. They also had a conversation with Bill Land earlier today. Great stuff. I'll play you some from that Bill Land interview. But we start off with the Dallas Cowboys, who did play a game on Sunday, as Trey Lance was electric, running for 90 yards and a score, and awful at the same time with 5 interceptions. And the morning huddle guys with Rob Thompson and AJ Hoffman, who you can hear every weekday morning from 6 to 10, talking about the dichotomy of Trey Lance and what it means for the Dallas Cowboys.
Let's hear from Trey Lance. Can
we make a vow to ourselves that what day are we going to stop talking about him? Can we just pick a day?
Once the regular season starts, okay. For sure. We'll never have to talk about him. But I do think that because, listen, how many passes in the regular, how many snaps got taken in the preseason that weren't Trey Lance? Was it 9, 10?
It was a series a game, however long those series last.
A series a game for the first 2, 0 series in game
That's
3.
Right.
So 2 series out of 3 football games, Trey Lance played every other snap.
Isn't that how it should be? I have no problem with how all of this went down.
Here's why it should be that way. Because you and I believed this from the beginning. I still believe it. There was never a competition of who was the number 2 quarterback.
No.
This whole thing was a tryout. For all intents and purposes, like, do the Cowboys want to carry 3 quarterbacks is what it boiled down to. And it sounds like Jerry's determined that, yeah, we're going to carry 3.
Now, I will say this. There was never any doubt that they weren't going to keep him. And I think a lot of it is the embarrassment of going, man, we traded a 4th-round pick and we're going to cut this fool. But on the other side of this, I do believe in my heart of hearts that Jerry is going to keep Trey Lance around just in case that things go south about October, November. Team's not looking good. Doesn't look like that. Gives a crap. He's just about done. CD still hadn't showed up. Zeke's hurt. Defensive lines, in. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Trey Lance as as the Titanic sinks. He will be on one of those lifeboats. If that's the only way we'll ever hear from him again as a Dallas Cowboy. If he's playing, there has been utter catastrophe with the Cowboys.
Let me ask you this as a basketball guy. When you were a coach,
okay,
if your best player started out the game 0 of 6, you generally say, hey, keep your confidence, keep shooting, right?
Depending on how those 6 shots were taken. If they were taken appropriately, no good coach worth his salt ever jumps on a player for missing a shot.
Okay.
I will jump on you for improper prep. You didn't do the right things to take the shot. It's not the shot I'm mad at. It's you didn't go about it right. That would be the only thing I'd ever be upset with.
So for me, let's put it to the Golden State Warriors. If Steph Curry goes out and he misses his first 7 3-point shots, if I'm Steve Kerr, I'm saying, hey man, take that 8th one. You got
next 7 going in.
Green light.
Yeah.
If Klay Thompson, and we're talking prime Golden State Warriors.
No, I'm with you.
Klay Thompson misses his first 7 shots. You say, hey man, you keep your head up. It's all good. If Draymond misses 7 consecutive 3-point shots.
All of these are contextual things because what you're about to say, you've missed 7 threes. Draymond, stop shooting the 3. There's other things for you to be doing.
Yes.
But I would probably let him keep shooting them in the preseason. I'd probably go, you know what, dude? At some shooting them. I want you to see it go through. I'm not mad at you because this doesn't count. So context matters. And I do think despite the 5 interceptions, I don't think that Trey Lance walked off the field upset that he threw a single ball where he threw them poorly. But I don't think he's going to look back and go, wow, I really wish I hadn't thrown that. I think he's going to go back and look, I wish I wasn't accurate here. I didn't have my right reads. I don't think there was the, oh my God, another throw. That never felt like that.
It's one of those things, and where I'm getting to is here. Trey Lance said we're going to hear him talk about his confidence here in a moment. But like, there was a time when I was covering the Rockets.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted James Harden to be less confident in his 3-point shot because it wasn't as good as he thought it was. Like he was convinced that he was Steph Curry, and he just wasn't. He was the highest volume shooter in the league, and like a league average 3-point. Like that's not good. Like if you are in the you're in that 50 percentile of quality, you don't want to be the top percentile of volume.
Right.
Well,
we're dealing with 2 different things here, but I get what you're saying. Like, dude, you're just never going to be that good at it. Stop it.
Well,
you're wasting your efforts. If you put your efforts elsewhere where you're good, it really would be better for you.
Or stop thinking that this is your bread and butter.
Right. I get it. But this, again, context. And you do want Trey Lance to be slinging it in preseason. I do want to take a risk.
Well,
see if he can thread the needle.
Trey was asked about his confidence despite the 5 picks.
Yeah, I think, my confidence isn't going anywhere. This sucks. This is, one I'm not going to forget about anytime soon, but it's part of it. We just got to flush it, turn the page, be able to do that. Give me 12 hours and it'll be all good tomorrow. But yeah, these suck.
I'm going to make $5 million this year, and I'm not going to do squat for the next 5 months.
Now,
I'm going to run scout team.
He did feel like he was he didn't point the finger in this. Thank God. When you're a quarterback, you can't point the finger at other people. The coaches can do that for you. The coach can say, well, this interception was his fault. This one wasn't. But here's what he had to say about those 5 picks.
For all of them, I'd say. Anytime you throw an interception, I'm the one that makes the decision on where to go with the ball. So at the end of the day, regardless of the situation, I put this on myself.
Saying the right things, at least.
Well, over the years I have, you never know where the receiver was supposed to break or you never know until you're actually in the film room. And I'm not going to say that I think of the 5 interceptions, 3 of them were just bad, inaccurate throws. There's no getting around it. It was your skill. It wasn't, you read the play right, it looked like, and the guy, well, one of them anyway, or two of them appeared to be relatively open. They were just bad throws. Just, I don't know. We got to fix that. The deep one late, that's the one where that you want to sit down and talk with him. Like, dude, this was a poor decision. You missed him terribly. Other than that, man, I'm just not mad at him. I just, this is a third string. Only thing I'm mad at, I said before, is he's here. Because he's not going to be here next year. And if you're not moving up as the third string quarterback, you don't need to be here. If there's no plans or any ability to keep you next year, and there's not, at least by my best estimation, I don't know why he's here other than to save face.
Because that's exactly why he's there, to save face. And I see a lot of comments about how red I am from Roy Martinez and Frank Valdez. Beach weekend got me hard, but it was a whole lot of fun, and that's really all that matters to me anyway, which is all that should matter. But James Spriggs says the offense is pass first, run later, because it's a Mike McCarthy offense. I think Trey needs a lot more time as the 3 and not the 2. Well, he's going to be the 3. And it's not because anything more than he's not a 2. Cooper Rush is your best option if anything happens to Dak to steady the ship for as long as it needs. And that is nothing more than the Cowboys not admitting they made a mistake. Same thing with Zeke Elliott. For a couple of years, people were saying he's losing a step, lost a step. He lost a step. And then finally the Cowboys moved on from him because of his contract. But good news for those of y'all worried about the potential running game. The Cowboys might not be done. Sources say, according to Tom Pelissero of the NFL Network, the 4-time Pro Bowler, Dalvin Cook, flying to Dallas tonight for a visit. Unlike a year ago when he was rehabbing from shoulder surgery, he has hit the weights all offseason and says the best he's felt in years. Cook's averaged 92 yards from scrimmage per game throughout his career. It's 107 if you take out last season against the when he was with the Jets. Never had a chance to establish a rhythm there, but had a very long run for Baltimore in the playoffs. One of the top free agents still available, especially one of the top running backs available. Cowboys may not be done. Dalvin Cook, would you like to see him added to this potential Cowboys running back room? What say you? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. We'll get into that next. Plus, CD gets paid. That, Dak, where does he land on the QB tiers list? But next, the Blitz had this great conversation with Bill Land, the voice of the Spurs on TV for the last 21 years. And they talked about a lot, including his retirement, what's next. It's all coming up for you right here on Extra Innings with Pledge on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Tuesday on the Morning Huddle, it's cut day. Who's going to make it in Dallas?
One day closer to college football. Those Aggies ready for Notre Dame, and is Texas ready for the showdown? Hey, we're getting you ready for it. Get here early. We'll get here at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
purple?
Well, yes, it's grape.
Try new DayQuil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Hormones can affect everything. Bad skin, bad hair, low energy, poor sleep, brain fogginess, libido, and weight gain. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we take a functional approach to your hormone problems. Eating right and exercise will not be beneficial without optimal hormone function. This goes for men and women. We do state-of-the-art testing to get to the root of your hormone issues and help you get well and stay well. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. We can help. 210-468-1891.
NCE General Contractors, based in San Antonio, is one of the fastest growing nationwide general contractors with a focus on commercial new construction, design build projects, building renovations, tenant finish outs, site upgrades, and building maintenance. NCE President Brian Ehrlich's a former Madison quarterback and proud to support high school football in San Antonio, building relationships first, then buildings that last. Learn more about NCE General Contractors online at ncegc.co. That's ncegc.co.
Hey, checking in?
This is not just your flu shot appointment at Walgreens.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is getting your entire family vaccinated in one trip.
Hey, Mom?
And a snack on the way out. Get flu shots for everyone in your family, together. Schedule appointments online today. This is wellness made easy. Walgreens.
Vaccine subject to availability and for ages 3+. State health-related restrictions.
It's Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Appreciate y'all for rolling through with me tonight. There's a lot going on with the Dallas Cowboys. There's more that's about to go on with the Dallas Cowboys. There's some news on Dak. There's some news on a visit from Dalvin Cook. But I wanted to shift focus a little bit over to the San Antonio Spurs as the legend Bill Land is set to retire and will not be calling games anymore after 21 years of service for Spurs TV. And the Blitz got a chance to talk with him today about his decisions, memories, things that he went through. And it was a riveting conversation, including this great story about Sean Elliott and the talk back to the truck.
Bill, I can only imagine you make that kind of retirement announcement. Everybody under the sun is reaching out to congratulate you on a great career. Did you get a text or a phone call from somebody that goes, wow, I can't believe I heard from this person?
Well, I got first of all, it's great to be on with you guys. But overall, I've just been overwhelmed by the response. And there's only been a couple of what took you so long. Good riddance.
That's just from Sean Elliott. Come on.
Yeah, that was one of his accounts that we aren't aware that he controls, right?
Yes.
No, but Friday night was going out to dinner with my wife and meet some people, and a FedEx letter arrives, knocks at the door. I thought, what is this? I opened it up, and it was a very nice note from the commissioner, Adam Silver.
Wow.
Nice. That certainly shocked me. So that would be the one certainly that I'm like, wow, at least somebody told him in the office, here, put your rubber stamp on this. Tell Bill he's okay. But having interviewed Adam a number of times, doesn't surprise me because the guy to me is one of the all-time great commissioners and just a really good guy to go along with it. totally different personality from his predecessor.
Well, I tell you what, Bill, it was bittersweet for me because just the small amount of time I was able to work with you on some of the broadcasts, you were always very kind and very upbeat, and your style is so unique. I would have to imagine that when you walk away and you realize the impact that you made on so many people, it's got to make you feel great.
Yeah, it's when people send notes that, I mean, you hope that they're entertained, that they enjoy it, and we've always taken the philosophy, or I have, that anytime you're doing a broadcast, whether it's a talk show or play-by-play or whatever, that if you're having fun, hopefully your audience is having fun, and it's one of the things I enjoy about your guys' show. I can tell you guys are having a ball some days, no matter what you're talking about, and that makes it entertaining. But it's nice when somebody actually responds and gives you a for instance, and one person on Twitter said, I've always enjoyed your "Oh Mama," but for a different reason than what most would be. He said, my grandmother, when she was alive, anytime you would say that, she would say, "Oh, grandmama." So when you find out, hey, if that happened to make somebody's night, man, that's just cool to hear.
It is cool to hear. The great Bill Land joining us here on the Blitz. So let's ask, that became your signature call. How did it begin?
Actually, it goes way back to when I went to college. I went to Central Missouri my freshman year and played basketball. Their mass comm department turned out to be not what I thought it was going to be. And I went one weekend with a buddy of mine who was from Edwardsville, Illinois, and visited that campus at SIU at Edwardsville. And it just so happened that the head of the mass comm department, I just walked in cold, told him I was thinking, and he goes, well, if you transfer here, he goes, well, let me give you a tour. He gave me a tour of the mass comm building and the entire campus, and then told me, he goes, well, when you come back, he goes, are you going to play basketball? And I said, yeah, but I'll have to redshirt. And he goes, well, then you ought to do the color on the campus radio station that year when you're not playing. And I ended up doing that. And my parents lived about 260 miles away up in Northern Illinois and couldn't get the broadcast, obviously. So that became my shout out on an exciting play. It was like, hey, Mom, I'm thinking of you. And that's what it's always been. People have thought it's been something else, but it's just been kind of a shout out to my mother.
I think that's cool, and I know she appreciated that. I would think absolutely, but Bill, when you get a duo, Jason and I have known each other for over 30 years. I hate to say that, but so
Joe's old.
When we
he used to babysit me.
when we came into this thing, I mean, we had a relationship. You and Sean Elliott had a relationship and just kind of played off of each other so well. How did that develop, or was that something that just developed right away?
Oh, I mean, you guys know Sean. I mean, he is the greatest guy ever. So it's easy to have a good relationship with a guy like that. And it just, Sean's not afraid to make fun of himself, and yet he still has that aura where, we kid about playing the Memorial Day Miracle as part of his contract, and he goes along with it. And it's just such a good mix, and he's always just I don't know, he's just such an easygoing guy, and I think also that traveling over the years, we always sat next to each other on the plane, and it's not like we were talking the entire time, but you just get to know a guy, and he's almost like a brother, as it turns out. So after a period of a year or two, you just start to click, and he knows when I'm going to lead him into something. I know kind of when he's going to go off on something or whatever. We give him the space, and there's other times where Joe, you'll remember this, that we always talked about talk back Sean, where there's a talk back switch, for those that don't know, on your headset microphones, to where you can talk to the guys in the truck, the producer and director, and it does not go on the air. Thank goodness.
Yes.
And many times when Sean would get frustrated by the way the team was playing, he is just blasting into the truck, moaning about this or that. Why don't they? And meanwhile, I'm wanting to bring up a point, and I know he's not paying attention at all to what I'm saying. So I would hit talk back and go, Daniel, would you tell Sean I'd like to talk to him a moment if he's got a minute? And Sean would look over like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Almost forgot that, hey, we're still on the air here, buddy. But, that ended up becoming just fun. I'm just really going to miss that interaction with him on and off the court. And of course, just the entire crew, because we are like our own little family.
You really are. Bill Land, a longtime legendary Spurs broadcaster, joining us here on the Blitz.
That was Bill Land. The full interview is available at sasportstar.com in the audio vault, or you can just go back on YouTube and check it out for yourself. But great stuff from Bill Land, and I cannot wait to see how the Spurs honor him in that first home game as they get set. James Spriggs says Bill Land is a legend, gonna miss him and his calls. Have a day mate and so many others. Enjoy your retirement, sir. And well said, James. Bill Land is a legend amongst all of the media here in San Antonio, and what he's done with the Spurs throughout the Spurs' greatest years should be celebrated by all. Frank Mateo says Bill Land should have a banner in the AT&T Center with a mic and his catchphrase, "Oh mama." It should be right next to Sean's jersey. Maybe he should. Maybe he will. And it's going to be, like I said, fantastic to see what is actually done for Bill Land when they formally, to the public, give him his farewell retirement at the AT&T Center during that first game. I can't wait to see it, because he is deserved of everything and the pomp and circumstance that is coming with this, for being the great storyteller and play-by-play man for the San Antonio Spurs over the last 21 years. Great stuff from Bill Land. Him and Sean together have been absolutely incredible, and he will be missed on the call. The question now becomes, who will replace Bill Land at that booth on TV, sitting next to Sean Elliott? That's going to be a very, very interesting thing to see. Coming up next here on Extra Innings with Pledge, the Morning Huddle. The guys were joined earlier this morning by a list that came out from ESPN talking about some of the top quarterback tiers and where certain quarterbacks fall, including the one and only Dakota Prescott, and is where they have him tiered appropriate. Rob and AJ will discuss. We'll bring it to you next, right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio Sports Star.
Eczema flaring up again? We have good news. Exoderm. If you or someone you love suffers from eczema or dermatitis, get Exoderm, the common sense answer for eczema. This stuff really does work. Exoderm contains the #1 doctor-recommended ingredient in a clean hypoallergenic cream with no harsh additives. Take back control of your eczema with affordable, fast-acting Exoderm Flare Control Cream. Exoderm. It's in the first aid aisle of your local Walmart, H-E-B, and other fine stores.
Whether you're tinkering in your garage or tackling big projects, if you know the value of working with your hands, you know Harbor Freight. And you can be confident knowing that at Harbor Freight, you can get quality tools at prices that work just as hard as you do. Because the only thing more satisfying than a job well done is a job well done, well under budget. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight.
My wife and I
always loved doing everything together. Jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. Watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I had tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back. I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
I'm Nicole Chrysler, healthcare provider at Revive Men's Health. If you are always feeling tired or moody, have a difficult time sleeping, or decreased libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam. Call Revive Men's Health San Antonio at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
If you're thinking about a compact tractor and you want the best, you can afford a Kubota. I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota. Come into one of our 11 locations and check out our tractor package deals. We're offering 0 down and 0 APR financing for 84 months or up to $3,300 off select compact tractors. With a deal this good, you can afford a Kubota from Ewald Kubota. Check out our package specials at ewaldkubota.com.
Now through September 30th, see us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Hi, this is Congressman Joaquin Castro. Here in Military City, USA, we're proud to stand by our veterans. Every year, my office is honored to help San Antonio veterans and military families with delayed benefits, claims, and service questions. Just know that if you need a hand, we're here for you. Call 210-348-8216 or visit castro.house.gov/help to learn more. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
With T-Mobile, you can get tons of benefits and still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. Because nobody likes having to choose. It's like getting romance and sci-fi.
Jane, I love you. Also, I'm a robot.
Or being a dog person and a cat person.
Who's a good boy?
Or like being an extrovert and an introvert.
Woo! This is so fun! I can't wait to go home!
At T-Mobile, you don't have to choose. You can get the benefits you want and still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. See how much you can save with our savings calculator at T-Mobile.com/switch. Plus, when you switch, you can keep your phone and we'll pay it off up to $800.
Via virtual prepaid card in 15 days. Qualifying unlocked device, credit service, and timely redemption required. Card has no cash access and expires in 6 months. See T-Mobile.com.
Howdy, Ags. Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Aggies, inviting you to watch all A&M games at the Angry Elephant at 281 and Redland Road. Owned by Chip Ingram, class of 98, the Angry Elephant is known for their liberal cocktails at conservative prices and the best hot dog in Texas. Since 2012, the Angry Elephant's been the place to watch A&M, and this year is no different. Just down from the Big Blind, right next to the Rue Pub at 281 and Redland Road. The Angry Elephant. Like your bar, love your Aggies. Gig 'em.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings of Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pleasure. Thanks for joining me. The guys on the Morning Huddle found an interesting list out this morning, which tiered off the quarterbacks. And of course, they had to discuss where one Dakota Rain Prescott ranked on this QB tiers list and how accurate that ranking truly is and what it should mean for the Cowboys moving forward.
Number 9 is Dak Prescott.
Probably an appropriate place. And I'll tell you what, you want to talk about a down arrow. I mean, he had a near MVP caliber year, and C.J. Stroud is still in front of him.
Prescott matched his career best for average vote, 2.1, and ranking 9th. So this is the tied as the highest he's ever been on this list. He made a 5th consecutive appearance in Tier 2. One offensive play caller said Dak can roll out of bed and throw for 450.
Yep.
It's unbelievable. It's just those moments in the playoffs against the Niners or Packers where if you want to be Tier 1, one of those times you have to put that team on your back and will your team to a win.
Whoever that is, man, we are of like mind. You just defined Dak Prescott.
Prescott's 5 career games with 450 plus yards are tied with Drew Brees for second most in NFL history, behind Ben Roethlisberger's 8. Dan Marino, Tom Brady, and Peyton Manning are next with 4 apiece. That's pretty good company you're with. Those are all current or future Hall of Famers. But it says of those quarterbacks, Prescott is the only one to have never reached a conference championship game.
Yep.
A defensive coordinator said, I've always given Dak a 2. When I did it this year, I gave him a 3. He proves year in and year out that he cannot get it done in the postseason. At the other extreme, an executive from one of the Cowboys' division rivals gave Prescott tier 1. He said without him, they would be a very average or marginal team.
We have gone back into what defines the current Dallas Cowboy era.
And then finally, one guy, a defensive coordinator, said Dak is probably the definition of a 2. There are some holes. He's not perfect, but he's about as steady of a 2 as you can be.
True. That's it.
I think it's a very fair placement for Dak.
I wouldn't put him higher. I wouldn't put him lower. Retained tier. Yes, I'm in. Sadly, I think we've reached the apex of Dak Prescott. I don't think what we saw last year can be improved upon.
And wildly, someone is going to pay him
more
money than anybody's ever made in the NFL for someone who you just said is likely going to start rolling downhill at this point.
I think this is it. And there's nothing wrong with what this is. I mean, we're nearly to the top of Everest. He is up there with the top 10 of all time in a lot of categories.
10th on the list is Jared Goff, who moved up a tier from last season.
See, that's surprising to me.
That he's 10th?
I look at Jared Goff a lot like Dak Prescott, but older. I don't know why, because they're essentially the same age. I felt like Jared Goff had plateaued last year, that we had seen the most of Jared Goff, and anything else would be maintained. But they gave him some more because that team got better. So why not?
I'm not a big believer in Jared Goff. I'm also not a big believer in number 11, Jalen Hurts. Good offensive coaching. And one guy said one coordinator said he would be a tier 3 lock without the tush push.
Well, let's talk about what he can do. If
they can't run the ball, Hurts is not effective. He can't handle pure pass. When he got hurt and became immobile and they had to throw the ball, he showed what he was. I think they might have paid a guy that they're going to have a really good team around him to win any kind of games.
It sounds like I would bet that was actually Howie.
Might have been.
Because what other quarterback has the weapons that he has? I want you to go up and down the weapons.
That's incredible.
That he has offensively. No quarterback has more to play with than Jalen Hurts.
No, you're right.
From tight end to wide receivers to
offensive
running back.
line.
Offensive line, if they can, there is no quarterback in a better position to be absolutely successful than Jalen. I mean, they have spent 3 years, and they keep adding more.
One defensive coordinator said, the word is out there. If you run zero blitz against Hurts or show zero and back everyone out, he will panic. That has to change. They lose Jason Kelsey, who handled the protections, basically did everything. And you bring in a coordinator who likes to drop back, it will be interesting. Because Kellen Moore is a pass-first coordinator. And I don't think Jalen Hurts should be a pass-first quarterback. And I think that might be a bad match, which is the only reason I still have confidence in the Cowboys in the division, is because I just don't think the Eagles are offensively, despite all the weapons. I think that quarterback is obviously so important, and I don't trust him.
I will say this. If he has of the same skill set that Dak was way back when, and I think he's probably a little bit further progressed than the first year Kellen Moore was Dak's offensive coordinator. Kellen Moore was a master, at least with Dak early on, of disguising and hiding what Dak wasn't good at yet. He was a less than accurate thrower, and he really probably wasn't as comfortable in the pocket as he should have been. And the zero blitz probably scared the crap out of Dak back then too. Kellen Moore's not the best at a lot of things, but he's really good at this.
Yeah,
of hiding a quarterback's issues and putting him in a situation to be successful.
Well, they got a running back that should help. Like,
and-
if they become a run heavy team again, then yeah, I could see that working out. But last year, I think they tried to pass too much, and it was a disaster.
I think that this could be one of those crazy pivotal years for Jalen. If it goes south, I can't see how they're going to be able to hold on to him. We're going to start running into a Dak situation with him.
Wrapping up tier 2 is number 12, Brock Purdy, number 13, Kirk Cousins, number 14, Jordan Love.
Project, okay, 14. He already jumped. I mean, you
Jumped
said
2 tiers.
Who will be in next year's tier 1? Do you think Purdy can, if he has the kind of year that he had last year and the year before, do you think they will elevate him all the way to a tier 1?
No.
Is there anybody in this second tier that you can see still has a rising, other than Stroud?
Lamar could be tier 1.
Even after everything, I'm not sure he's ever going to get tier 1 again.
Maybe not. Justin Herbert can be tier 1.
There you go. Herbert and Stroud.
Herbert and Stroud are the 2
most likely candidates.
And maybe Jordan Love. I don't know, and the reason why I say yes to Jordan Love and no to Purdy is because I think sometimes these guys look at just physical tools, like, can you carry me? And whatever Brock Purdy does this year, he's probably going to be the 3rd or 4th best player on his offense.
And he has as many weapons as Hurts. I don't want to discount, what he's playing with. But as far as I think San Francisco, the talent was put together and then the quarterback matched the talent. In Philadelphia, they have done everything they can do to justify the payment to their quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, they've kept chasing talent, where Brock Purdy is the recipient of talent that had been acquired, in my mind. They went and got McCaffrey because they could. They didn't go get him because, well, crap, we're going to be starting Brock Purdy. I mean, and they already had Debo, and they had already drafted Ayuk. I think that he fell into a great situation where one was absolutely constructed for Jalen Hurts.
So that's the top 14 guys, 3 tier 1s, 11 tier 2s.
That was Rob Thompson and AJ Hoffman on the Morning Huddle this morning. And it brings up an interesting point, because as we get to CeeDee Lamb and his big money, which the Blitz talked about, which we will get to coming up next. But the big thing is, and Minnesota's going through this right now, your top tier receiver, do you pay the quarterback too? Because it's a chicken and egg thing. Is it the receiver or is it the quarterback? And most times the quarterback helps to make the receiver. Very few times it is the receiver that helps to make the quarterback. And if your quarterback is even below, let's say, league average, how can the receiver even help if the quarterback can't get him the football? So they're running into an interesting situation when it comes to Dak Prescott and how this plays out, especially since they have no backup plan, since Trey Lance and Cooper Rush are also both in the final year of their deal, just like Dak Prescott is. So how does all of that eventually play out for the Cowboys? As I said earlier, the Cowboys, according to Tom Pelissero of the NFL Network, they are bringing in a running back for a visit tonight. That is right. The 4-time Pro Bowler, Dalvin Cook, formerly of the Vikings and Jets and Ravens. He is making his way to Dallas and is supposedly the best he's felt in years as he comes down for this visit to Dallas. Does Jerry and Steven manage to get another big deal done before the start of the season? Get them on a roll. They've already had the trade for Phillips. You saw the addition with Linval Joseph. Kalen Carson has played great. They're rookies. Cooper Beebe, Tyler Guyton, likely starting. Marshawn Nealon. Now you parlay that into possibly adding a Dalvin Cook. Maybe you even get Dak's deal done before the start of the year. Could the Cowboys be on a roll before the start of the season? Because the first part of that equation fell a little bit earlier as CeeDee Lamb got paid. And the boys from the Blitz, Jason and Joe, they were talking about You'll hear from it next right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM and sasportstar.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home for Texas A&M football. Saturday afternoon at 6:30. The Aggies take on the Notre Dame Leprechauns, presented by Ewald Kubota. Pre-game coverage begins at 5:30 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Your neighbors at El Guacamole Mexican Grill on 25020 Blanco Road are ready to serve you breakfast or lunch fresh, made to order Mexican dishes or cold drinks on tap. Order today or visit El Guacamole Mexican Grill on 25020 Blanco Road.
It's football season, and you know the best place to watch games is at the Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road, with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. College, pro, the games are on at the Roo. And when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch the game. Just down from the big blind, the Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo. TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine is excited to announce a partnership that is revolutionizing access to care for orthopedic patients. The HURT app provides free 24/7 access to orthopedic expertise. HURT is the app to have before you need it. Don't wait for an injury to happen. Download HURT now for free, fast virtual access to orthopedic specialists. The HURT app is available online in the App Store and Google Play. Learn more about the HURT app and the OrthoNow Injury Clinic at TSAOG.com.
Calling all brothers and sisters of the league. Come to 49 Cigars in the village of Stone Oak, Suite 101, where game is always on and cigars are always premium. Enjoy a fine selection of cigars in our unique lounge. And remember, it's BYOB, 49cigars.com.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
O'Reilly. Did you know 1 in 4 car batteries is weak and needs to be replaced? O'Reilly Auto Parts will test your battery for free in or out of your vehicle. We can help you find the best battery for your vehicle and budget. Batteries starting at just $79.99. Get your battery tested for free today at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Appreciate FI rolling through tonight. And as FI is pointing out on YouTube, yes, I am red. Aloe does need multiple applications. And a lot of people thinking I fell asleep in the sun. No, I didn't fall asleep in the sun. I just forgot to reapply because, well, I was on the beach. And I unplugged from reality, drank a lot of beer, spent a lot of time in the sun, and forgot to reapply. And let that be a lesson to all of y'all if y'all have any plans for this Labor Day weekend. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. The guys on the Blitz earlier today, as the news broke, the hugest story of the day, CeeDee Lamb gets his money, and Jason and Joe, well, they were there to break it all down for us.
No real surprise to anybody, right? That Jerry caved and CeeDee got his money. And even the numbers aren't overly surprising. And quite frankly, and I'm going to sound a little like RJ Ochoa, couldn't you have done this same damn deal 4 months ago, 5 months ago?
You could have.
I mean, Jerry could have done this deal a while ago. Trying to figure out the nuances and structure of the deal. You knew at some point CeeDee Lamb was going to be the highest at something. Give him something to brag about. if it's not annual per year, because that still belongs to Justin Jefferson. But apparently the $38 million signing bonus, the largest ever given to a wide receiver, according to the Adam Schefter tweet.
It's about $1 million more, from what I understand. Justin Jefferson's was signing bonus.
Now the $100 million in guaranteed money is $10 million less than Justin Jefferson, but them taxes in Minnesota, it's about even.
Are they bad in Minnesota?
Well, sure.
All right.
I don't know. They're taxes.
Well, I hope CD doesn't own a house in Dallas because they'll get killed by property taxes.
But he's not getting state income taxes. You go to them other states, there's income taxes and property taxes. And, and my goodness, the winter weather stuff that you have to do for your fancy cars and the heated floors that you have to have in Minnesota.
That alone there.
That extra $10 million is spent just on a living in a god-awful place like Minnesota. No offense to anybody that's from there.
It's god-awful.
I was there for 1 week during a Super Bowl. I don't ever want to. I'm told it's lovely in the summer.
I'm sure it's great.
I
covered a Timberwolves game once. I've been there one time. Spurs playing the Timberwolves many years ago, and it was cold as hell.
The Super Bowl week, it was minus 60 with the wind chill?
Dude, I don't know. That's
I just know that
outrageous.
my glasses froze, and driving to Radio Row, the inside of the window, the windshield, was icing from the breath.
Unbelievable.
And a guy said, we were talking about, Rob Thompson and RJ Ochoa and I, we were talking about it on air, about how the inside was freezing while we were driving. And one of the security guards that works there walks up in a break and says, man, I heard you guys talk. You know what you do? Is you take unscented kitty litter and put it in a sock and put that on your dashboard, and that will get all the moisture.
Wow.
And I thought, who in the hell lives in a place where that is a thing?
Where you got to do that.
I'll never go back.
A guy that you see, Evan Klosky.
Yeah.
He worked one time for a couple, 2 or 3 years in one of the Dakotas. I can't remember if it's north or south.
Yeah.
And they have to put heaters on their engine when they park it.
Yeah.
Like over and it has to, dude, I don't need to live in a place like that.
No, I'm sure it's lovely for you.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I no. Not for me. And not for CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb, he's back. And again, no surprise. It's just Jerry Jones. It's what he does. He puts you through it, and ultimately you're going to get what you want. Steven says these deals are and there's all the different things that you look at. They don't make it easy. It's like, I don't know. I'm guessing most of you, your job says we're going to pay you X amount, whether it's a salary or you're making X an hour for 40 hours a week. And if you work overtime, maybe you're in a job where you get tips. I don't know. But let's just go with a salary job where you know what you're going to make. You show up and you say, here's what it is. And maybe you can negotiate a little bit more, maybe not. But I mean, it's pretty much that's what it is. You get your vacation time, here's your health benefits, and you go about your day. NFL deals aren't like that.
No.
And then you get what's there and then how it applies to the salary cap. And that's what gets complicated. And quite frankly, none of us, you listening right now, me, Joe, Pledge, none of us really know all the details of what all goes into that. You have to have 71 different math degrees to figure it out. But the juxt of it, 4 years, 136 million. So the average per year is 34 million. That doesn't necessarily mean he's going to make 34 million per year in his take-home money. That becomes an average because of all the bonus money that gets factored in.
Well, that
and what does it count against the cap?
Well, that and two, and I mean, 100 million of it's guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
So you really want to look at that. The same with Justin Jefferson, though. 110 million of his is guaranteed. So you look at 35, and that's what we talk about. But once that 100 million's gone, they can do whatever they want with you. And so.
Well, that's it. I mean,
so that's what the number to go on.
Well, and again, if it's $136 million deal, 100 of it's guaranteed, I look at that and go, that's a damn good contract
Not
for
bad.
CeeDee Lamb.
Absolutely.
And I learned more about contracts from Dat Wynn because he would be like, oh, yeah, he's getting $98 million, 21 guaranteed. That dude's getting 21 is what Dat would say. It's like, yeah, it sounds good. It ain't real money. So
it's monopoly money. For goodness sake.
Exactly.
It really is. It's just, we sit here and talk about, you got $100 million. That's not enough. Really?
Wow.
Wow.
It's amazing the types of money that we're dealing with across all sports, because we talk about it in football because, I mean, we follow football the closest, but look, Jalen Brunson left, what was it, $160 million on the table to sign the extension that he did this year. Baseball, Shohei Ohtani got $700 million. The numbers with professional sports are just becoming astronomical, especially when it comes to the big three sports. And now we're talking about college football getting into that realm with NIL deals and stuff like that. It's going to be something that's always going to happen. And I keep hearing that, how are you going to pay all three of these guys? It's like we haven't noticed that the salary cap has substantially risen every single year because of an influx of new TV money and fan revenue sales and ticket sales and everything else that goes into the rising salary cap year after year after year, which is allowing these player salaries to go up and up and up. Yeah, they'll be able to sign all three of these guys. And I mean, Dak and Micah, if they so choose, because guess what? The salary cap will allow them to. CeeDee's fifth-year option this year is $17.1 million. Jamar Chase's fifth-year option next year is $22.8. It's going up for everybody, including the salary cap, including the owners. This has been Extra Innings with Pledge, right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I appreciate y'all joining my little burn body here on, whether it's YouTube, if you're listening in your radio, call, check on your loved ones. You never know what it can mean for them. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
San Antonio Sports Star. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home for Texas A&M football. Saturday afternoon.